How's it going, guys? So Brian Gutekunst is at the NFL annual owners meeting on Monday, and he was interviewed and asked a few questions about Aaron Rodgers, what's going on with the trade and the Jets, and he had a bit of things to say, which indicates someone's lying. And it's not really, I guess, a shock, but someone is lying, whether it's the front office or Aaron Rodgers. So Aaron Rodgers had his whole hour-long talk on Pat McAfee where he declared he wanted to play for the Jets and all that. The decision's been made, and Packers and Jets were talking in the background, trying to facilitate this trade. Well, Brian Gutekunst was asked several questions yesterday at the annual meeting, and Brian Gutekunst was pretty much saying, he literally said that some of the things Rodgers were not true. So the first one was when Aaron said that he's had no communication with the front office and he felt like they didn't have open communication and they kind of were trying to push him away. Well, Gutekunst was asked not directly about that comment, but a question on the form of that of, hey, did you try to talk to Aaron Rodgers? How did those conversations go? And Gutekunst said that he tried to actually reach Aaron a lot of times, many times, and he could not reach him. He didn't answer his calls. And eventually, when he got back with his agent just informed Gutekunst that, hey, Aaron would like to play for the Jets. And with listening to the entire Brian Gutekunst interview yesterday at the meeting and remembering what happened with the Pat McAfee interview with Aaron Rodgers, some of the timeline does match up. And it's starting to seem like Gutekunst was doing what he thought was best for the organization and may have been right despite all the insanity that we've been dealing with, especially if Aaron Rodgers is going to stay or get traded. So the timeline of that is, and it tends to match up, Gutekunst and Aaron Rodgers said, hey, they had conversations after the end of the season, which was around January 13th, since the season ended around January 8th, of, hey, how the season was, how he felt. And then after that, they didn't really talk. And Gutekunst wanted to have these conversations with Aaron Rodgers to see, hey, where's he at? Because he's got a team to look after. And after several attempts throughout the entirety before his darkness retreat, Gutekunst was still in the dark, pun not intended on that, but was in the dark about what Aaron was feeling because he wouldn't return his calls, he wouldn't answer them, and nothing. So Gutekunst, he has a job to do, as he stated. He started to send some feelers out there. Hey, what's the interest out there? Probably hit up the Jets. You guys are looking for a veteran quarterback? We have someone that might come back. So at the end of the day, Gutekunst is doing his job, and that's to look over the well-being of the Packers of the present and in the future. So I don't think Gutekunst really did anything wrong in that scenario. And once Aaron Rodgers comes out of his darkness retreat, he says he feels like something's changed, and that's probably because Gutekunst and the Packers were trying to send some feelers out because they have a team to worry about, and they don't even know if Rodgers is going to come back. They won't return his calls, and really they're just doing what they feel is best. So it's interesting to hear Brian Gutekunst's side, and some of it does match up with what Rodgers said. And Rodgers did state at one point that he didn't make himself available to the front office to talk to them. So really that's on Aaron's fault. Like he wants open, constant communication, yet he won't have open, constant communication. So I don't know what it is about aging QBs and the Packers and them going weird and sideways, because it really sucks, because I really loved Aaron Rodgers, but my gosh, why does this seem to always happen 17 years later with quarterbacks that are MVP Hall of Famers? It doesn't make sense to me. And I don't know if there was going to be an Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, but if there wasn't, I'm curious if one's going to suddenly appear. But we'll see. Or Aaron Rodgers Wednesday, maybe. We'll see how that goes. Moving on, Gutekunst was also asked how are the talks going with the Jets and what's kind of holding this up, and like, is there a dead set timeline and all. And Gutekunst said they would like it to be done sooner than later and would prefer it to be done before the draft, but there's no hard set deadline. If it happens after the draft, it's going to happen after the draft, although that's when compensation changes and it's kind of unideal. He was also asked about if the first round pick is a necessity, and he stated that it's not entirely a necessity. He would like all the picks, and he would like premier picks or players for a premier player, which is Aaron Rodgers. And seems like that seems to be the holdup here. And it makes sense. We've been hearing that we want a first round pick. The Jets don't want to give up their first round picks. But it's also interesting how both sides, despite all the talk about leverage, once again, that both teams are just openly giving up any type of leverage they had or have. Like, for the Jets, especially the head coach, to go out and say, he's going to be our quarterback. And the Packers are like, yeah, we really want this trade to be done, especially before the draft. And he's probably not going to play for us, although all options are on the table, as Gutekunst says, for the Packers and Aaron Rodgers. They're both clearly stating, we want this done now. But they can't seem to find a common ground, which may involve giving away a first-round pick or maybe giving 2 seconds. I'm not really sure where the hiccup is, but it's getting more clear what we're asking for and what the Jets are slightly not budging on. And it's starting to become more clear, which is better than us trying to get 2 first-round picks or 3 first-round picks, and the Jets saying, no, you're getting conditional fourth, and all the stuff that we theorized about. So that's better. And then moving on, he was also asked several questions about Jordan Love. Is he going to be the number 1 quarterback? And of course, at the way it's trending, as he said, he is going to be the starting quarterback, especially if Rodgers does eventually get traded to the Jets. And he was also interesting as if they're going to go with a rookie quarterback, keep with Danny, or look for a veteran backup quarterback behind Jordan Love to maybe aid and assist him in his first year. And throughout this interview, he compared Jordan Love a lot to Aaron Rodgers' situation back in 2008 with the whole Brett Favre thing, and rightfully so. This is very, very reminiscent of the Brett Favre Aaron Rodgers scenarios. And any time that Brian Gutekunst talked about Jordan Love, he had nothing but praise for him, how he's been improving and trending in the right direction throughout the 3 years, how he's ready to be a starting quarterback, how he's pretty much going to be the starting quarterback for the Green Bay Packers going forward, and that they highly believe in him and all of this other stuff, which is really good to hear. I think all of us are pretty much tired of this Aaron Rodgers stuff, and we're ready to move on with Jordan Love, and we believe in Jordan Love. It's like Brian Gutekunst said, it's very similar to the Aaron Rodgers situation. We didn't have a lot of tape and a lot of plays and drives with Jordan Love to fully figure out what we have, similar to Aaron Rodgers. But we're feeling very confident. He's been trending in the right direction. And now in his 4th year, it's time to move on from your superstar MVP, a little bit crazy quarterback, and move on with the rookie. Well, not a rookie, 4th-year quarterback. But it was also interesting to hear that they did ask about if they were going to pick up his 5th-year option, and he didn't give a complete yes. They said they'll work through it and figure some things out, and a lot of that probably goes on with the Aaron Rodgers trade because they want this to be done, and that'll determine how much cap room they have and all the other stuff, if they want to do a contract extension and all of that stuff. So I feel like he was kind of giving an open answer to not saying, yes, we're going to pick up his 5th-year option, because they might be looking for a contract extension, which could make sense. We'll see how that goes. But let me know what you think down in the comments. If you liked the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and as always, go Pack, go.